Hi everyone, this is Isabel the Shabby Hippie. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to my channel. And I hope you can hear me a little better today because I moved my microphone around. So hopefully it'll be better for you to hear, hopefully, without a lot of white noise. Um, the reason I'm here today is because uh, in my community where I live, there is a festivity going on that has to do with my heritage. And for those of you that do not know, I am Puerto Rican. And so we celebrate today in our community Puerto Rican Day. And even though I am not going and I haven't been able to go for a few years, um, I still love Puerto Rico. I do not live there anymore, but it's in my heart. I love the customs. I love the history. I love my people. And I love how beautiful Puerto Rico is. Um, Unfortunately, just like in many places of the world, there's a lot going on and things that as a Puerto Rican I'm not proud of, or as a human being, or as a Christian. But that I feel is all over, just any part of the world is going through something right now. Um, but I did want to bring this to view. This is a journal that I had made several years ago, maybe 5 years ago, possibly, or more. I honestly don't even know. It's been a long time, and it was, or it is, I should say, um, a how do I say this? uh, I can't find my words, but okay, so let me start it a different way. Where I lived in Puerto Rico, um, in the same community, there was an indigenous park that has been there since time is time. Well, yeah, since, Puerto Rico was discovered. And it's still there with original stonework. It's part of our history, and it's literally about 5 minutes away from where I lived, and that was by car. So it's a beautiful place to visit, um, and I really love it. So I wanted to contribute to my heritage by making this journal. And a lot of work went into this journal, a lot of research. Um, Originally, I wanted to sell this journal, and so I did a lot of research, trying to make sure that I didn't get any copywritten images or things like that. Um, However, once it was done, I fell in love with it and I kept it. I I've never written in it. I may at some point. Um, but I just thought I would share it with you today so that you could see a little bit of my culture. And um, there aren't a lot of pictures, but there's a lot of history in this journal. And it was totally handmade with no digitals. Um, there are a few pieces of scrapbook paper, but mostly it's just coffee dyed paper and things that I've made. So with no further ado, and I'm sorry that I'm getting so long here, this is my journal dedicated to my heritage in as a Puerto Rican. Okay? So it's done with a folder, not a folder, a large envelope, a large manila envelope, which I had prepared to make look somewhat like leather. Okay, so there's a lot here. As you can see, there is, you know what, it's been so long that I barely remember, but I do see some coffee dyed cheesecloth, and then there's this other fabric, kind of lacy or crocheted fabric. There is this image here of the sun, which is the sun, the God's son. Would the God's son? The Son of God? No, not that either. The God of the Suns. Okay, gosh, that was hard. Which I drew copying other images from Puerto Rico, and I drew it onto fabric. That's why you can see that it's bleeding, or that it bled. So what else? Oh my gosh, there are 3 signatures. So 1, 2, and then the other string is like behind here, but it's here. There's this trim, the oh my gosh, the leaf trim. There's this other trim here. There's a hitch post. There's some flowers to represent our beautiful flowers in the island. This is I dyed this with green. It was originally white, and I dyed it for this journal. And then there's some other little colorful things, fringes coming down. I had made this tassel with this with these feathers, and it also has a larger feather and a smaller feather charm, and this charm that says Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if you can pick up on that. I'm wondering if I should turn on my light. Hang on. I hope I'm not making a boo-boo by doing this. That might be better. So, okay. So yeah. So there you go. There's the, oops, sorry. Oops. So as you can see, I had sewn all around it. And, oh, okay. So let's start with this little thing up here. Obviously this is just a little altered paper clip, not a big deal here, okay? And then I tried to do everything to look obviously very old, to represent our heritage. I also forgot to mention I have some crochet trim up here, and this ruffled fabric, okay? So this here is a scroll of the meanings of the, or not the meanings, but of these Taino symbols. The Tainos are, or were, the Indians in our part of Puerto Rico where I lived. Okay, there are still a few around, barely any, but there are still a few around. So these were their symbols. So that represents a snail. This is the this represents either a pregnant woman or the goddess of fertility. This is obviously a bird. This is our famous tiny little frog, which is called a coqui. Okay, right here, that's a coqui. This is the sun. This also represents fertility. This represents our turtle. And more of the sun. The sun, a baby. And this represents water. And this represents a mask and another sun. So these are, I'm not sure if you can really see them. Let me bring them up a little bit. All of the symbols, well, no, they're not all, but the most popular symbols that the Taino Indians used to use, and other Indians in Puerto Rico. Okay, so I'll just put this away in a little bit. That just gets clipped onto the top there. And then going inside, like I said before, I didn't use any digitals. This is scrapbook paper, and it's just a large pocket. More scrapbook paper. I tried to use scrapbook papers that would go with the colors that I'm trying to portray. This is a hand made, obviously, journaling piece of paper, because it's not even a card. It's just a piece of paper. I sewed around it. Okay. This took me months to make. Literally, this took me about 3 months, if not more, to make. This is just a card that I made using some of the colors that I thought would represent our island. And this is like the symbol of the water. It says Taino because, again, these are the Indians that I am representing in this journal. This is a sun that I drew there, and then this is just fake stitching, it's not real stitching, and a little flower stamp. So that goes there, and then this here says the adventure begins, and then there is a bird up here. I'm not sure if you can really tell, it's tiny. And then here we go with more things. This paper, which is like the bark of a tree, or a tree, I thought went well because it represents nature and how the Indians used to use everything around them to survive. Okay, so in here, this is an example how they made a ladle. Okay, this is a picture of a ladle called the hataca in Spanish, hataca, and they made that obviously with a piece of wood and a coconut. Okay, and then here, this is, hang on here, I think there was something else here, I'm not sure. Oh, there was. These are just some feathers. And this is just a paper clip that I made, again, with some of the natural colors of, of nature. Of nature, natural colors of nature. Yay, I got that one out. So, okay. Here we go with the sun again. This is some washi tape, some stamping, and more washi tape, some stenciling here. It's looking really bright here, probably because of the light that I turned on, but it's not as bright as it looks. It's actually very subtle. This is a stamp that I made, and I have it right here actually. I made this stamp precisely to use in this journal, and I have used it in many other journals that I've made. But as you can see, it's a homemade stamp. And I made it out of felt, and here it is. And I've used it many, many times. So I guess I was kind of like the Indians and just using what I had around me. But yes, this is a handmade stamp that I made precisely for this journal. Okay, so, and then this just flips out. More pretty paper, and it's all, even the scrapbook paper was coffee dyed. This is part of the Taino culture as well. More feathers, crochet flower, feathers. This is a little pocket. Oh, hang on. Here is a little card, journaling card that says Kane. Right, hang on. Oh, maybe not. Trying to see if it'll focus, but I don't think it wants to focus. But anyway, Kane is the house, so to speak, where the cacique, which was, the cacique Indian, the main Indian, the one in charge, would live. So that's where he would live, and he would sit on this chair made of stone, which is hard to see there. I may have another picture in here, but I'm not positive if I do or not, of the stone chair. Okay, so that's that. And then coffee dyed paper with pocket with sewing around. And then in here, let's see what I put in here, another sun. So this is this represents the medallion that the cacique wore around his neck. Okay, and then this is el cacique. This is the actual Indian, and I'm not sure if you can tell, but he is wearing that medallion there. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be able to tell. But yeah, so that's what is in here, and that goes in there. Again, just a little bit of something just to have on the page. Boy, it looks really bright there every time I look up. And then this is another page. I have some leaf stamping in there, and then I have a little belly band with those beautiful butterflies. I have this beautiful, oh, excuse me, I just sneezed, sorry. Beautiful little Indian girl. I believe I had gotten this image from the graphics fairy, but I don't want to promise you, but I'm almost sure. And then this is just a piece of journaling paper, and then oh, and then I made some tags. You're gonna see the other ones in the book, where I drew on each one the symbols that I was telling you about before. Yeah, this is like a really forest green color, and it's coming up really bright there. I can't believe how bright it looks. But yeah, so I wonder, just to see. That looks more like it, but I'm still going to leave the light on. So yes, this was drawn, and it's just an index card that I distressed with distress inks, and then I drew on them. Okay, and then this would go here like so. Sorry, I'm going slow. There we go. And sorry, I have allergies. This is a little banner with some ribbon and a yellow floral trim, and then just some papers to write on. I'm really liking the way I used to coffee dye my papers. I'm gonna have to go back to it, which I don't remember. To me, I thought I was still doing it the same way, but apparently not. This is just a sticker, and then this is the negative of a cutout that I had done of the sun, obviously. And then this is just an index card where I stamped a bird. I'm really loving this coffee dyed paper, or the way that I used to coffee dye. And then this is in areito. This is literally how our park looks right now in Puerto Rico with the stones. It's just the stones make a circle, and then the Indians used to dance inside the circle for their gathering. So areito means gathering. Yeah, I think you can more or less pick up. I'm sorry, I don't have a good quality camera, so sorry about that. And then there's a lot of stenciling here, and then this is the center of the first signature, and I had stamped these feathers and put them there on the ends, and the little owl. And this is another flower stamp, and a stamp of an eagle. Ay, ay, ay. And that paper again. Okay, and then here, this is probably from the graphics fairy as well. I'm not sure. I really love it, and it reminds me of things that I used to see from Puerto Rico as I was growing up. like, for example, my mom's handkerchiefs or things of the sort. Uh, Oops. And then this is just an index card which I made into a journaling card. And it just has a feather and it says dream, and then that tucks into there, or maybe this way. Oh, you're still not going to see it. Okay, well, whatever. And this was stamped on fabric. Okay, I stamped the word Borican, which is what Puerto Rico was called before it was called Puerto Rico. So that's why many of us are called, instead of being called Puerto Ricans, we're called Borinqueños or Borinqueñas. So this is where that came from. And then a stamped flower here, and a little bit of collaging with fabric and appliques, an altered paper clip. Oop. Okay, let me leave this back here because I don't remember what it is. So this stamp says delight in the little things, and then this is the little paper clip, which is just a piece of coffee dyed paper, and with some cheesecloth, some fabric, and the symbol of the snail. Oh gosh, this is really bad, but okay, and then that slips into there. And then this is what was on, oh, okay, this is the cane. So this is an actual picture that I printed, which is where the chief, that's the word I was looking for when I was trying to say a cacique. A cacique is the chief, the Indian chief. So this is where he would live. Okay, he would have obviously the best house in the area, and that's what it would look like. So these are some dried palms, and then the house is made of bamboo and palms. Okay, and this goes here, that goes there, and there goes that little eagle again. And okay, this was something that I remember having lots of fun with. I wanted to kind of recreate the medicine bag that the Indian doctor would carry, and this here represents the Indian doctor. Okay, the Taino doctor. So what I did here was, I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but this is a paper bag. It's a lunch bag, and I tried to make it look like a leather bag, and I imagined the Indian the Indian doctor maybe laying the bag by a tree, and that's why I put this bag on this page. As he possibly, cured the sick or the ones that were hurt by hunting. And then this says Taino, which is, again, the Indians in the section or the territory where I come from in Puerto Rico. And then this is some just ribbon that I thought would go well. So then this lifts up, and I have this, what do you call this? Coin envelope that I used the colors that I thought would go well, and then a butterfly. Okay, and then in this envelope I just wrote, hang on, I knew there was something else. I'm not sure there's anything else. No, apparently not. Okay, so I just put in this tiny little piece of coffee dyed paper, which is very distressed. There are some feathers here, which are very hard to see, and a little flower up. Actually, they're not flowers, they're butterflies. And then these are the bohíos, which is the houses where the other Indians lived in. So the cacique lived in a slightly better house, and then the other Indians and their families lived in these called boyos, okay, which are also standing still in the park where I remember, which is what inspired this journal. You know, just remembering that park and how beautiful it is. It's just amazing. It's gorgeous. There's a river that runs at the bottom of the park, and people go with their families, and it's just a beautiful place. There's lots of rocks, and it's just gorgeous. That's all I can tell you. I wish you could go there. Okay, and then in this pocket here that I had made, I decided to put pictures of some of the plants that the Indian doctor would use. So, like, this is chamomile. This is, I'm not sure what it's called. It's some type of a cactus that is used in medicine. And then this is something else. I think this is rosellas. I'm not sure. I don't know a lot about the plants, but I did look some up when I made this. Like I said, I did a lot of research for this journal, even though it looks so simple, but I did really do a lot of research. So these are some of the plants that the Indian doctor would use. Okay. And then this is another pretty feather on top of some green trim, and then it says daydreamer, because I can imagine how they would daydream. And I remember daydreaming about, and I still daydream about going back and just walking through that gorgeous park. And then this says you are free spirit. This is some washi tape, more washi tape here, a nice butterfly, and it's just a journaling card made out of a index card. And this is a banner that I made, and it's just, it doesn't come off, it's just there, and then I decorated it, and then I put this here, which would be the tools that the Indians used to hunt, you know, whatever they were going to eat. So that's what that is. Okay. And then here we have this card that I had made. Yeah, it's a tag it's a store-bought tag, but I actually made, you know, I decorated it. So there's some washi tape. Here's a little bird. Some more of that paper, some burlap. This says vuela, which means fly. Vuela. Okay. And some more washi tape. And some stamping, and some stamping up here which says never stop dreaming. And that's that. That goes here. Oh, wait. It goes here. I was wondering, why is that even... Why would I even fold that? But again, I made this so long ago, I can't even remember. Here's some more stenciling. And let's see here. Okay, so we come to this page. This is a chief, a female chief, Indian chief. Her name was Anacaona. Anacaona. There's even a song, a salsa song about her, which some of you Puerto Rican people may have heard. And again, it's called Anacaona, and that's what the song is titled. So what this portrays is she was, you know, from what I've read, she was a beautiful, very beautiful Indian. And when her brother died, he was the chief. He used to be the chief, and then when he died, she became chief. So they were parading her there, basically. That's how she would travel. They would lift her up and take her to places, okay? But eventually she was killed by I can't remember who, but I actually have the story in the back of the book. Um, so yeah, so that was that. And then some more feathers here and some trim that I had dyed. This was actually white trim as well, and then I dyed it different colors. And right now, if you ask me how to do that, I would not be able to tell you because I don't remember these things. I don't know. There's a little feather stamped up there, another one here. There are these beautiful flowers. Sorry, probably shouldn't be moving this so much. I don't even know if you've seen half of this stuff. This is a stamp that I have. Okay, this is a page with a lot of little journaling spots, and I made it out of coffee dyed paper, very distressed as you can see. And then I added, let me start with this, I added the negative of one of these feathers, one of those feathers that I had cut out of this paper. And behind the negative, what I did was I added this piece of what do you call this? It's not cheesecloth. It's almost like cheesecloth, and it came from a scarf. Gosh, that was hard. And so I added that scarf. I sewed it onto here, onto this piece of paper, which was the negative of that feather. So it's very textured, very feels neat. Okay, so and then that's what that is. And of course, here we go with one of the images of the sun. Okay, and then here we have one of the tiny little cards that journaling tags that I had made with some stamping and some collage work there. And then here's a very pretty little image of a tiny bird. Oh gosh, these things are so hard to pick up on here. This is another thing that just reminded me of when I was growing up. Even though I didn't grow up in Puerto Rico, but you know, I did have obviously Puerto Rican parents, so my mom still had a lot of her things that she brought from Puerto Rico. And then here we go with this little index card that's coffee dyed, and here we go with the symbols of the sun again. So all of them are different symbols of the sun that the Tainos used to use. Okay, so this goes here, here, here.